Morning, everybody. So, this week we are officially rolling out our strategies for how students are going to be earning credit in each of our classes. I wanted to start by just walking you through what we are going to be doing for earning credit in ceramics. So, the big picture is that all of the work that was assigned to you before we were released is assessed the exact same way it was assigned. So if it says you need an artist statement, you need an artist statement. And if it says that this is the standard, this is the standard. Okay. Second, the work that was assigned after we were ordered to stay home is going to be assessed on your engagement and your progress. Okay. And I'll talk more about all these things in a minute. Everything that has been assigned is required. So whether it has been assigned prior to the stay home order or after the stay home order, it's all required. Okay. And if you don't complete your coursework, you will receive an incomplete. No one is going to fail. Okay. You're just going to work until it's done. And I'll talk more about each of these things individually. So the first one is the work assigned prior to the stay-home order. This is your first priority. You know which assignments these are because they're in your EHS gradebook, and they're the only ones in your EHS gradebook at this point. You want to submit all of this assigned work via Canvas, okay? So I can't stress this enough. If you have not turned in your pinch project, or if you have not turned in your fairy tale project, this needs to be your very first priority, okay? All work that has been assigned can be redone or resubmitted to improve your grade. So if you got a C on something and you would like to improve it to an A, you may redo this, resubmit it, modify it, do whatever you need to do to make sure you have the highest grade. And I'll talk again more about this in terms of strategy. Because this grade is going to play the biggest role in your overall course grade at the end of the semester. So you want to make sure this is a really strong positive grade. This is your work that was assigned before we had our distance learning situation. Second is the work that was assigned after we were required to engage in distance learning. So this is your second priority. So all the assignments are posted on Canvas. Each module represents 1 week. They're assigned on Mondays and they're due on Sundays. It's about 3 hours worth of work per week, sometimes less, but 3 hours max per week. So it's not that much work. So please don't be overwhelmed if you're behind, okay? You can catch up really easily. I'm not trying to make this hard for you. I want to make it easy for you. So pay attention to what is assigned. Designate work time each week and just keep yourself caught up, okay? All of these things are going to be assessed on engagement and progress. So this is what all your teachers should be doing, but it might look different in each class. So for me, engagement is going to be completing assignments, attending class meetings, and communicating, right? So communication is very, very important because in class, I get to see your face and I can see, oh no, she's struggling. She's overwhelmed or whatever. I can see that and I can be intuitive about what you need based on our physical relationship, like knowing and seeing each other every day. I don't have that anymore. So if you are struggling or if you are overwhelmed or if you're confused, I only will know that if you tell me. So make sure you're communicating regularly. That's part of engagement. So those are the 3 things: communicating with me, attending meetings, and completing your assignments. The second is progress. You're going to be evaluated on your progress, which is, for my course, demonstrating proficiency with new skills and deepening and developing your existing skills. So for some of you, coil building is a brand new skill. And for some of you, this is an existing skill that you're going to be building upon and deepening. So I want to see that you're progressing either in the knowledge you have by learning new skills and, or, depending on the situation, taking the skills you have to the next level, right? Every week's assignment is designed to give you an opportunity to demonstrate your progress. Whether it's a new skill or an existing skill, you're going to be progressing. And then lastly, all work that is assigned can be redone, resubmitted, turned in late, turned in 3 times, turned in 5 times. You may turn it in as many times as you want, okay? But you definitely want to make sure that you're doing your work, you're aware of what is being assigned and the structure of which it is assigned, which is assigned on Mondays by the end of the day, and then due on Sunday. So 1 week at a time. 3, everything that is assigned is required. So each module assigned represents 1 to 3 hours of work. Okay, like I already said. Each module is required unless it says optional or there's one that says spring break. You don't need to obviously do spring break. If you missed a module, you can make it up and submit it any time before the end of the semester. So, for example, if you haven't done a single lick of ceramics work yet, and you have a pit in your stomach and it makes you want to throw up because you're really overwhelmed by the thought that you have to make it all up, we're going to strategize around that and we're going to make it up and you're going to be just fine. Like I said, 1 to 3 hours of work a week. You can easily in one weekend make up all your ceramics work. If you can't make it to a class meeting, I want you to communicate this with me prior to the meeting. So again, everything is assigned and required, but there's flexibility because obviously some of you have jobs, some of you are helping your children. I'm helping my children. Oh my God, getting elementary school kids to focus. I can hear mine out there right now. They are not focused. So we all need to be a little bit flexible, and I intend to do that. But the number one thing we must do is communicate with each other. So recap. 3rd big idea, everything that's assigned is required. If you need any accommodations to this, communicate it with me. And you may make up anything that is missing. Okay, deadlines are to keep you on pace. Right? But I have to be flexible and so do you. Number 4, if you do not complete the required work, you will receive an incomplete. So the first thing to take away from this is that no student will receive an F in my class. No student will. Okay? From me. And I will continue with that here in a second. So instead of an F, if you do not complete your coursework, you're going to receive an I, which is an incomplete. Okay? What an I is it means that, okay, so at the end of the course, you didn't get everything done or you didn't meet the proficiency requirements. So you're going to keep working until you do, right? The only way to actually get an F, which I don't even know what this will be. Like, this isn't even up to me, is if you don't fulfill the I, the incomplete requirement. So if you've never actually go back and finish the work, that goes out of my hands, right? And I can't at this point tell you for sure, but it might be an F or a no credit or something like that. So absolutely you must do your work, but I personally am not giving out any failing grades. It's against our state's rules. Okay. So no one should be giving you an F. But what you will be receiving is an incomplete if you don't do the work, and then you'll be required to complete the work for credit. If you have an IEP 504 or EL guidelines that your teachers are legally required to follow, we all must follow those. So if you see that I may have overlooked something that is on your IEP 504 or part of your EL learning plan, please communicate that to me and to all your teachers, right? We're working really hard and we're working in different ways that we've never worked before. And so I'm sure some of you are struggling in ways that we can't anticipate. So if you need accommodations or modifications that are allowed and required, I mean, I can say allowed, say required for us to accommodate, from a legal document, please make sure that we're doing that. Okay. So that's me just talking to you that if you, and that's for all students, even if you don't have an IEP 504 or have specific guidelines for your particular learning plan, if you are not getting your needs met as a learner, please communicate that to me because there's lots of room for modification. Okay. So recap, no one gets an F, but you got to do the work to get the credit. So here's the confusing part, the grades, how they're going to be determined. So I tried to break it down to make it simple. So the work you did prior to the stay home order, this is the stuff that's in the grade book now. This represents your base grade for the course. Okay, so if on March 14th or whatever it was, we left school and you had a B, that is your base grade for the course. Okay, so hold that thought. Then your level of engagement and progress that you demonstrate through your distance learning activities is going to maintain your base grade. So if you had an A before we left school, you will be maintaining your A through the distance learning and engagement and progress, right? So what we're doing now is maintaining the grade you earned. Okay. Students receive either of one of the 4 grades, an A, B, or an I, right? So the I, again, is an incomplete, and it means that you will have the opportunity to re-engage the learning standards to receive full credit if you do not do it by the end of the semester, okay? That leaves my hands, though. That is no longer me. So with me, our goal is we want to have every student have an A by the end of the semester with nothing hanging over your head. That's our goal, okay? Obviously, that's not going to happen for every single student, and we will do our very best to make sure that you get the materials, the resources, and the support you need to get your A at the timeline that works for you. So with that in mind, I want to show you a strategy, okay? So everybody's going to get an A. That's our big goal. So your first thing that I want you to think of is your base grade, right? So if you have a C in the course before we left for our distance learning situation, you are going to get a C in the course. So the first thing you need to do is complete, redo, and resubmit all the work you've done prior to our stay home order. And you want to get that base grade up to an A. So if you need to redo your pinch artist statement, redo your pinch artist statement. If your fairy tale project isn't complete, take the clay you have and make a new one. You need to have your base grade as high as possible because that is the grade you're trying to maintain, okay? Then you want to keep current with our weekly modules. So even if you're behind, this means start today's module today, even if you haven't done the one from last week. So start today with being on track, okay? Then make up the missing work at your own pace. So think about this. The biggest priority is to get the highest possible grade in your Everett High gradebook for the work you did in class, okay? Once you do that, you're going to start working on your Canvas weekly modules, and you start this week. And in your spare time, make up the ones that you've already missed, okay? Lastly, you need to communicate. And this is for parents, students, everyone. I am here for you. I am paid to support you, okay? Let me know if you're freaking out, overwhelmed, you're stuck, confused, you just don't know what to do next, you don't know how to reapproach the work. I don't want to hold you back. I don't want anyone getting less than an A in my class, okay? So what I want to do is just really make sure that you have the resources you need to get the very highest possible grade and to be able to do it in a way that is fun, meaningful, and keeps you creative, right? So If you want more information on what the district's expectations are, you can go to their website and you'll be able to read the official documentation. I'm sure you've got phone calls and all sorts of business about it already today, but I just want to make sure that we're all really, really clear. Okay? You will be receiving a grade. No one will fail. Everyone has the opportunity to earn an A. Okay? And so, I hope you have a wonderful week. And I look forward to seeing you guys all at our class meetings tomorrow. So tomorrow for Ceramics 1 and Intro to Ceramics, I will see you on Wednesday. So be good. All right. I'll see you then.